Wisconsin, Mr. Sensenbrenner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, let me state that I support this Select Committee resolution, and I thank the Chair for working with me to refine the resolution's language. I agree the documents which the Select Committee is seeking from the EPA are within our authority, and that the agency has no legal basis to deny providing us with the documents short of asserting executive privilege, which they have not done. However, I do want to take a few minutes to share some of my other thoughts and concerns about the use of these subpoenas. Generally, I believe that subpoenas should be rarely used. In the 10 years during which I chaired 2 standing committees of the House, the Committee on Science during the last 4 years of the Clinton administration, and the Committee on the Judiciary during the first 6 years of the Bush administration, I never issued a subpoena. I did on occasion remind representatives of those 2 administrations that Congress has constitutional responsibilities with respect to oversight of the executive branch. And I used that leverage to negotiate meaningful testimony and documentation to allow my committees to discharge their oversight obligations. However, I believe that the actual use of subpoenas can and should be a rarely used oversight device. The documents this subpoena seeks from the EPA are drafts and part of an ongoing Supreme Court mandated regulatory process. I am always hesitant about Congress intervening in a rulemaking process. If we know better than the regulatory agency what the answer is, then we should pass legislation to mandate that answer. Administrator Johnson testified before us 3 weeks ago that as a result of the enactment of last December's Energy Independence and Security Act, he was re-examining from a broader perspective both the Clean Air Act and other authorities to regulate greenhouse gases. In other words, the rules changed as a result of the December enactment. Since that hearing, he has announced his intention to use an advance notice of proposed rulemaking as the agency considers the specific effects of climate change and the potential regulation of greenhouse gas emissions from stationary and mobile sources. This leads me to wonder what the exact value of the documents sought by the subpoena will be, because they were a part of preliminary rulemaking, and what use they are to us now. Except as historical documents showing where the agency's preliminary thinking was going last year, they would seem to have only limited use to us as policymakers. Perhaps these documents will serve as great political fodder for the majority to use in attacking the administration, but I don't think they're going to be very relevant as a result of December's energy bill being signed into law. In any case, I have long stated my opposition to the fragmented use of statutes like the Clean Air Act and the Endangered Species Act to confront the challenges of global warming. This was not the purpose for which they were enacted. Only comprehensive legislation rather than fragmented regulations are likely to result in meaningful actions. In conclusion, I will support this resolution for institutional reasons, though I do have concern that these documents are being sought for political purposes and will have only limited use in helping the Congress develop realistic policies to confront global warming. And I yield back the balance of my time.